Very good morning, children. Welcome to the social science class. Today we are going to see unit 6 in geography, man and environment. Yes, so in this chapter you are going to see components of environment, various features of human environment and various settlements. Okay, so also you learn about the environmental factors of the human behavior. So first we'll go into the introduction. Environment is a set of relationship between man and nature. Yes, it is a relationship between man and nature, environment. So man has survived through ages dwelling within his surrounding called environment. So man, we humans, we are dwelling in a surrounding, right? We are surrounded by a society, by a sort of people, so that is called environment. It has derived from the French word environ, mean encircled or surrounded. So it is derived from the French word called environ. The meaning of that is encircled. We are surrounded. Okay, so it includes both living as well as non-living components, that is biotic and non-biotic components. Okay, first we'll see man and environment. Early man depended entirely on nature for food, clothing and shelter. As we all know, early man doesn't have any advancement or development in his life. He has entirely depended on the nature for all his needs, food, clothing and shelter. Man has enjoyed a dominant position over the other living organisms around him because of his posture, hands and intelligence. From the Paleolithic period to the Neolithic period, man has invented and developed the wheel, fire, tools and patterns of agriculture and housing to his comfort, which led him to improve the standard of living, making himself technologically advanced. But slowly he has improved. See, now we have changed a lot. Comparing to early man, our life is totally different. Yes, what we experience now is totally different, right? So slowly he has developed. Okay, he has developed wheel, later fire, tools and introduced patterns of agriculture, and he has started building houses according to his comfortableness. Okay, so everything has been changed. Thus modern man modified the environment where he multiplied in numbers to increase population, and also it leads to the exploitation of the natural resources. Okay, now we'll see about the classification of environment. So there are it has been classified into three factors, that is natural environment, human environment and man-made environment. So first is about natural environment. So natural environment is nothing like land, air, water, creature. So these are the natural environment. It's natural. Next is human environment. Humans, individual. First is individual. See, we all first we are an individual person, right? Individual, and then family, later community, and then religion, education, economic, political. So this is called the human environment. And the last one is man-made environment. Man-made environment, road, bridge, whatever he has developed, man, road, bridge, parks, buildings, industries, monuments. So all these are called man-made environment. Next we'll see about population. The Latin word populus means people. Population is the total number of people living together in a particular place at a given point of time. So population means it's derived from the Latin word. The meaning of that is people. So population is the total number of people who are living together in a particular place at a particular time period. Okay. Demography. In ancient Greek, demos means people and graphis means study of measurement. So demography is a statistical study of human population. So it is a study of human population, demography. Next is about population growth. The first point is that it is easy to add but difficult to maintain. Yes. Population is a dynamic phenomenon where the number, distribution and composition are constantly changing. Yes, today's population will be different from yesterday's population, and then tomorrow's population also, right? Today certain people will be born, certain people will be dying, right? So this is it is very easy to add but difficult to maintain. it will keep on changing, right? Human population increases as babies are born and decreases as people die. Yes, it depends upon according to that. As a result, human population grew slowly. About the time of industrial revolution, it began to increase rapidly. Natural increase of population is the difference between birth rate and death rate. So natural increase, it depends upon difference between the birth and the death rate. Okay, so it may decrease through natural and man-made disasters, natural like famine, landslides, earthquakes, epidemics, tsunami, like these. Now we are experiencing all these things, no? So because of all that, some birth rate could be decreased, birth rate or the death rate would be decreased, right? Next is population change. Population change refers to an increase or decrease in the population of one area influenced by the number of births, deaths and migration. So it depends upon the three factors: birth, death and migration. People used to move from one country to the another country. Next is population growth. Population growth refers to an increase in the number of people who reside in a particular area during a particular period. Okay, so those who live in a particular area during a particular time period, at that time there is an increase in number of people, that is called population growth. See, today also people are taking census, the government has taking census, right? So to record all that, okay, so early we'll get some population rate. So all these are possible due to this census record only. Next we'll see about the distribution of population. Population distribution refers to the way in which people are spread out across the earth's surface, so across the world. So it is called population distribution. So three factors. The one is physical factors. Physical factors include temperature, rainfall, soil, relief, water, natural vegetation, distribution of minerals and availability of energy resources. So these are the physical factors. And next is historical factors. So historical factors, it is regions with historical importance, like and war, constant invasions. Okay, so these are the historical factors. Economic factors, it includes employment opportunities, manufacturing industries, trade and commerce, educational institution. Okay, so these are the economic factors. So this is how population has been distributed. Next we see about human settlements. A settlement can be described as any temporary or permanent unit area where people live, work and lead an organized life. So this is how a settlement has given. It is described as it is a temporary or as permanent unit where people can work or lead an organized life. Okay, we'll see about the classification of settlements. On the basis of occupation, settlements is divided into two categories. One is rural and other one is urban settlement. So rural settlement, it includes the primary activities like agriculture, forestry, mining, fishery. So these are comes under rural settlements. So first we'll see about the patterns of rural settlements. It has certain patterns, models, right? So first we'll see the rectangular pattern. Rectangular patterns of settlements are found in plain areas or valleys. So it is not suitable in our areas. It is found in plains and valleys area. Okay. Linear pattern. This is the second pattern. In a linear pattern, the houses are located along a road, railway line and along the edge of the river valley or along a levee. Okay, so here the linear pattern, the houses may be located near the roads or the railway line. Okay. Next is the circular or semicircular pattern. So this type of pattern are found around the lakes, ponds and sea coast. Okay. So children, for everything you will get the picture, so go through that carefully. Star-like pattern. Star-shaped settlements, these has been developed in road coverage area. Okay, like metalled and unmetalled road coverage area. Next is triangular pattern. This pattern is generally developed at the confluence of rivers, okay, near the rivers. And next is T-shaped, Y-shaped and crossed-shaped settlements. So here where two roads converge with the third one, so that area is called T-shaped or Y-shaped settlement. Nebular pattern. So this type of pattern is found in the main landlord of the village or around a mosque, temple or church. So this is what rural settlements. Next is about urban settlement. Urban is a term related to cities and towns where people are primarily engaged in non-agricultural activities. Okay, so we people are living in urban areas. We are not involving in any agricultural activities, right? Other than that, we are doing better factors like employment, the urbanization, better employment opportunities, suitable conditions for business, education, transport. These are the people are engaged. Okay, classification of urban settlement. It is town, city, metropolitan cities, mega cities. Okay, a town is generally larger than a village but smaller than a city. So it is in the middle. It is larger than a village and smaller than a city. Okay, for example, Arakonam near Chennai. Okay, it is a population of less than 1 lakh. Next is city. Cities are much larger than towns and have a greater number of economic functions. So the population in cities are estimated to be more than 1 lakh. Here we people are living in city area, right? Next is metropolitan city. Cities accommodating population between 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs are called metropolitan cities. For example, they have given Madurai. Mega cities. Cities with more than 50 lakh people are called mega cities. Here, yes, Chennai. Here we people are residing more than 50 lakh. Yes. Conurbation. It is a region comprising of a number of cities, large towns and other urban areas like Delhi. Okay, it includes cities, towns and urban areas, right? So this is what the settlements, urban and rural settlements. Okay, so here the lesson gets over, children. I hope you would have understand this. We'll meet you in the next class. Thank you.